Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to render this dining room. This is our final rendering. This is the preview in D5. Before we start over the rendering, I want to show you all the lights I'm using. First, we have a HDR to create environment ambient lighting. And then we have two main light sources. These two lights are our main light source. And two strip lights in the ceiling and one here and a couple more in the shelf. And above each chair we will have a spotlight. And also in here we will have another rectangular light. And that's all the light we need. The first thing we need to do is start the file render. Create new project. Create new scene and save. Okay, let's have a look. This is a default environment in D5. We don't need this. Delete the terrain. Let's go back to our view. If we rotate the sun, we can see this background image is blocking the sun. So we need to click on this one so the light can pass through this background image. As you can see here, we have the sunlight. I want to adjust the view and the camera first. Select 2-point perspective. Change aspect ratio to 4:3. Let's change the movement speed to 1. And we can fine tune our view. Okay, let's update the camera and let's rotate the sun. Let's go to the exposure and turn off auto and lower the exposure to maybe this stock and then update. I don't want to use the default sky, so I will just use a custom HDR. Go to environment HDR, select custom and use this pure Studio 6 and update. Now we are ready to create our main light source. Create a rectangular light outside the window. Resize the rectangular light so it's bigger than our window. Let's move the rectangular light outside our window. Let's put it here. As we can see, the rectangular light right now can only reach here. We want to maximize this range. So let's go back to our view and change the radius to maximum value. and then we copy another one inside the window. Just put it here. We don't want this light sticking into the ceiling, so we need to resize it. Let's go back to our view. Also, we need to decrease the intensity of the rectangular to 15. So the intensity of this rectangular is only half the value of the rectangular outside the window. Now let's also create the sunlight. Go to environment, turn on the sun, and increase the sun radius to 10. So the edge of the shadow will be blurry. Also custom the direction. Change altitude to a lower value, be 15, and rotate the sun to a proper position. And let's update the scene. Right now the blind is casting shadow on the wall, but I don't want this effect. So if you don't like this, you can just select the blind. Also turn on this, so it will not cast shadow to the inside our room. Create some strip light in the ceiling. Resize. Change the color temperature to a warm color. And let's copy this one. Rotate 90 degrees. Put it inside here. And create a strip line under the wall cabinet. Resize. And change its color temperature to a warm color. And also change the intensity. Also, we need to create strip line for this shelf. Let's create one first. Resize the strip line. And change its color temperature to a warm color. go back our view. Let's also change the bundle length to 0, so the light can spread out more, and also change its intensity to 100. This is much better. We can copy this line multiple times to here. One. Another one. And one more. Let's go back to our view. Oh, we need to create another one. Let's select all those lights and Ctrl G to group. It's time to create some spotlight above the chair. Create one first. Let's go to the top view and change the mode to wireframe. Let's move it above the chair and copy it. One for each chair. And select all those lines. And Ctrl G to group. Let's go back to our view. And change this color to a warm temperature color. Right now it's a little strong. Let's decrease the intensity to 100. For the background image, we need to use a emissive material, so it will not be this dark. Let's change the intensity to 10, maybe. Let's go back to our view. Also, we need to create one more line here in the back, so the back of the chair won't be this dark. Let's just copy this rectangular line, rotate 90 and rotate it. Let's decrease the intensity to 5. That's all the lights we need. Let's go to Effect and change the exposure. Also suppress the highlight exposure, so the brightest part of our image will be suppressed. Also increase the shadow exposure, so the darkest part of our image won't be this dark. Let's also adjust the contrast. If we change to a lower value, you can see there's a mist. Let's increase it, so this mist disappears to 0.2. Also, we need to apply a lot. And let's use a custom one. For this scene, I will use Cinematic 11. But it's too strong, so let's decrease the intensity. 0.2. Let's update the scene. We want to change the white balance, so we want to have a warmer tone. Also adjust the saturation. Let's update the scene and save. It's time to adjust the material setting. Select the ceiling and change its roughness to 1. Select the floor and change its roughness to 0. As we can see in the reflection, we see this rectangular line. Let's select the light. Turn off its visible in reflection. And also the one outside the window. Now it disappears. Let's go back to the view and adjust the roughness of our floor. Let's select the wood table and change its roughness to 0.2. So we will have this glossy finish. And select the oven and change this part to metallic. Roughness to 0. Maybe a little bit of roughness so it's blurry. Let's go back to the view. Hide all the lights. And select this pot and change its color to gray color. Yeah, much better. If we want, we also can change the plant's material to foliage. Select this material and change to metallic. Let's change the base color. And select this part and increase this value so it's not this dark. Do the same for this. Increase the value. Let's go back to the view. As for the rest of the materials, I will just leave them as they are now. And let's adjust the exposure and export. Update and let's export. Select 2K. For production you can use 4K or 6K, but I will use 2K for the tutorial. Let's check the final rendering. Overall, it's a little dark. Maybe we can increase the exposure. And the background image, we can also increase the brightness. We also need to adjust this strip light. I think there's something wrong here. Let's change this value to 0, so the light can spread out more. And select the background image and increase its intensity to 20. Adjust the overall exposure. And update. Export one more time. And this is our final rendering. If you find it useful, go support me on Patreon. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.